Hello, Tiffany and Bethy. Today I'm not doing an actual book review yet because the books I'm currently reading I'm not finished with, but I wanted to let you know, Tiffany, since you've had such a difficult time with Jane Austen in the past, as I have, I'm going to tell you that the next book I'm going to attempt to read is Pride and Prejudice. I did have a bunch of them in my collection before, but after trying to read them on several occasions, I just gave them away to people. I have a love-hate relationship with Jane Austen. See, while I'm reading the book, I just sort of feel like... Of course, I could not go out walking with Colonel Fitzwilliam. As much as he has done for my family and been so entirely generous, it simply would not be right because we have not been formally introduced.
Oh my God, be more interesting!
But then after a while it gets to the juicy parts and it really gets me.
In vain I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you.
With all that aside, I still have huge respect for Jane Austen just because she was strong enough to want to write and support herself in an age that really viewed women as nothing but baby machines. This is why I tend to prefer people like Charlotte Bronte, who actually has something terribly interesting and a lot of good plot twists going on in the book while staying within that Regency era that I still find incredibly romantic, even if everything going on is terribly boring. So today I sat down with a pot of tea and Northanger Abbey on film with J.J. Field as Mr. Tilney, and I just thought this would be so much fun, at least to me. I think it would be so much fun to have like a classic literary tea party. Have everybody cast as some classic literary character, like Northanger Abbey's Catherine Morland or Marianne Dashwood from Sense and Sensibility, or Jane Eyre, whatever, and have them come over and have tea and then just play games, dress up. And this one game I thought of doing because I was really like, it'd be fun if we could just mix and match and make our own kind of Regency era story. So this is what I did. I have all of these boxes with different slips of paper in them, and I'm going to pull some out and make a story. First thing you want to start with is your heroine, and you want a surname. My heroine's name is Marianne Knightley. And of course we want our hero. His name is Frederick Bronte. And of course we want to pick our heroine's traits. I just wrote a whole bunch of stuff down and put it in. My heroine, Marianne Knightley, is a servant girl. Oh no. Where is this taking place? Where did our two main characters meet? On a trip abroad. So we always want to have some kind of friends or family members that are just going to throw some crazy things into the mix. So we're going to pick another character. We have Madeline Keats and Ernest Tennyson. Then we want to pick a plot twist. Plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. Runaway horse and carriage. And the ending, we want to pick an ending. Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to write my synopsis. This is only supposed to be a page, but I got a little out of hand. I call this story a French tradition. Madeline Keats was the daughter of a rich English gentleman and a French courtesan who secretly hid her illegitimacy from society by flaunting her enormous wealth. While on a trip abroad to France to celebrate Madeline's coming into society, she brings along her closest childhood friend, her servant, Marianne Knightley. Marianne was a quiet young woman and very pretty despite her social status. Her cousin, Ernest Tennyson, had made a reasonable living for himself as an artist and decided France was the place to display and sell his art. While at a ball to celebrate, Madeline meets a wealthy young gentleman named Frederick Bronte, whom she instantly takes a liking to, and mistakes his sarcasm as flirting, and spends much of her time chasing after him. Viewing Ernest's art displayed at the ball, he sees a painting of Marianne he had done, and falls madly in love with her beauty. Madeline tries to impress Mr. Bronte's family by giving them several of Ernest's paintings the next day, without his knowledge, as a show of great generosity and wealth, hoping they'll invite her to their manor in return for her kindness. She charges Marianne to deliver the paintings and has her take the carriage. On the way to the Brontes, a neighbor is moving a piano into their home when it dislodges and crashes down the steps, frightening the horse, and it bolts, carrying the helpless Marianne inside. Hearing her screams, Frederick chases them down on his horse and urges her to jump. She manages to jump onto the back of his horse and narrowly escapes the carriage plunging into a lake. She faints, and Frederick takes her back to his manor, then realizing she's the woman from the painting. The Brontes saw this painting at the ball and assume she is a woman of great wealth and do everything they can to cultivate Marianne and Frederick's relationship. Meanwhile, Ernest is infuriated at the loss of his art and blames Madeline for her foolishness of thievery and putting Marianne in danger. Madeline is unchanged by his anger and says she'll arrange a dinner with the Brontes as a thank you for taking care of Marianne, when Ernest knows her true intention is to entice Frederick. After a few days of rest and hospitality at the Bronte Manor, Marianne and Frederick have developed a small romance, and returning to Madeline's house, have dinner. Madeline pulls Frederick aside for a stroll in the garden. Ernest overhears her spill the truth about Marianne's humble beginnings and how the painting of her was originally supposed to be of Madeline, which was not true. Hearing her cruelty, Ernest sets to painting Madeline the next day, saying Frederick commissioned a memento of his beauteous hostess. Thrilled, Madeline agrees. Ernest would not let her see the finished piece and sent it directly to Frederick's home. The painting depicted Madeline as horridly ugly and cruel, claiming she is now as monstrous as she is inside. Madeline is mortified, and one evening adds cantarella, which is a poisonous powder, to Ernest's broth and asks Marianne to deliver it to his room. They sit up all night talking about Marianne's love for Frederick, and in the early morning, before she must start her chores, Marianne has a sip of the broth. She falls horribly ill. That afternoon, Frederick decides that Marianne's status does not matter, as he has enough wealth for both of them, and comes to express his love for her, much to Madeline's dismay. He is horrified to find that Marianne is dying, and confesses his love to her as she dies in his arms. Ernest gives Frederick the painting of Marianne, and he grew old and never loved again. That was well timed. So now if you guys are interested, I am going to pull some slips for you to create a short story synopsis for my listening pleasure. Your heroine's name is Jane Williams. Your hero's name is George Tilney. Your character's trait is that she has many dastardly siblings. They meet in a secret garden. Your other characters to add to the story is Elizabeth Arnold and Vincent Byron. Your plot twist is someone encounters a ghost. And your ending is either your heroine is abandoned or abandons the hero for another man. So have fun with that. Can't wait to hear it. Bye.